Sometimes it can feel like our home finances are out of our control. We know our income and hopefully it should cover everything, but somehow we just don't have as much left at the end of the month as we think we should. Or our credit card debt is increasing monthly. I'm Sarah Lewis, Family and Community Development Agent of the University of Alaska Fairbanks Cooperative Extension Service in Southeast Alaska. And when people come to me struggling to control their home finances, I ask if they are budgeting or tracking their spending. The typical answer is a slightly ashamed, well, I've tried budgeting and I've tried tracking, but it's so hard to maintain. And I say, you are not alone. For many people, and for many reasons, budgeting and expense tracking over time is just not a sustainable activity. We start out strong, but by month 2 or 3, things fall apart. So I often find myself recommending a different budgeting strategy that most people are happy to know doesn't require regular tracking. It's a strategy that you can set up once, then monitor every once in a while to make sure everything's working smoothly. This strategy is to create a simplified budget that I call a spending plan. Your spending plan should have only 3 categories: needs and required payments, long-term goals, and everything else. First, determine your monthly required payments amount. List your payments for housing, utilities, groceries, transportation, communications, minimum credit card payments, and any other payments you're required to make regularly. And don't forget your emergency savings. Even $5 or $10 into that is necessary. For variable payment items, like electricity, I suggest you use the highest payment you made in the past 12 to 14 months, or an average of those months. This will be a real number, not a hopeful budget. If the total cost of your needs is more than your income, first reduce or eliminate any of these payments that you can, then look for additional income sources like new or additional employment or federal benefits, such as children's health insurance or food stamps. Next, list your long-term goal payment amount. These may include additional debt payments, retirement funds, college funds, and savings for short or long-term goals like travel. These are real numbers too, but don't make these payments so high that you have too little for the next category, everything else. If you're able to, leave some money for your wants, not just for your needs. I like to consider funds for everything else and allowance for adults. And there's no need to track these expenses if you don't want to. If your needs and your long-term goals are fully funded, give yourself a break and use the rest of your money however you want to, guilt-free. Why track those coffee shop cinnamon rolls or lunches out if you don't need to? Now, how to stick to your spending plan. First, automate your needs payments and your long-term goal payments. How to do that is a whole nother video topic. But for your guilt-free allowance for everything else, perhaps you deposit that money into a separate debit or checking account, or maybe give yourself an old-fashioned cash allowance. When it's gone, it's gone. So imagine that, a budget with only 3 categories: needs, long-term goals, and an everything else allowance. And there's no tracking necessary, just some monitoring to make sure your automatic systems are working smoothly. And there you'll be, in control of your finances.